Good evening and welcome to Scrapbooking with a Twist. We are going to do a layout tonight, and it's going to be with 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life, and we're going to do Grab 5. Like I said, these just naturally go together because you're going to be using things from that Grab 5 list over on Ginger's Corner. So 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. She does that several times a year, and you can do one or you can do all of them. This is the first time I've really participated. I've always thought I would, and then I just don't get around to it. So I'm really trying to get several of them done this time. And then I'm doing the, excuse me, the Grab 5 hop over on Ginger's Corner. And we have this list of like 65 things that we can use on our layouts, and you have to use at least 5 of them on a layout to get credit for it. So my layout today, and I should have done Baby Got Scraps along with it also, because I used nothing but scraps. This is just scrap paper that I put together. This piece was about that size, and then this piece, and I just put them together to make my 12 by 12. I've got to do some of that. I've got a couple of different goals that I'm working on. One is to use up scraps because I have so many scraps, and the other is to use my old paper. And I may show that to you at some point and talk about that and how I'm going to do that. But first off, let's talk about, I'm going to do one page of this double page layout. I love this layout. This one is like just patterned for me because she's got 7 pictures on these 2 pages, and you know me, I'm always picture heavy. And this one is for day 15, and it's Shayla Kolchitsky, I believe is probably the way you say that name. And she's got pattern paper with plain colored paper. She's got a long title across the middle. Now, I did not do this middle thing that she did. As a matter of fact, I'm just now kind of noticing it, or I might have. I was just kind of in a hurry, and I really didn't even, it would have been nice to have my title on something different. And I just missed that. Then I'm flipping it because I'm going to put the 2 photos on top and the 1 photo on the bottom. And I'm going to add another cluster because my photos are both horizontal. I don't have this, are both vertical. I don't have this horizontal. So mine would be smaller. So the 2 are going to be on top. I'm going to add a cluster over here. I am going to have the long title, the 3 photos, and then the big cluster down here with the single photo. So that's the plan. I'm going to lay that right up there for now. But I really, really like that. And I would like to do the 2-page one. This just wasn't a 2-page layout. And then the Grab 5, I'll tell you what I'm going to do with the Grab 5. I'm going to do 3 clusters, 3 different pattern papers, image stamping, brads, a Ginger Corner swap, and also a handmade title, because it's really hard to see that this is a pattern paper. And I could have done, instead of 3 pattern papers, I could have done animal print, because this is actually a cheetah. It's this animal print that I put on the back of this picture. So I could have done that. And I think I listed 6 things anyway. But I know this is how I want my pictures. So I'm going to go ahead and get those down. And I think I may have to refill my, I can always use glue. I usually use some glue anyway. So we'll just put some glue on with them. I nearly always put some glue on the back. That way, even if the tape wears out, this glue isn't going anywhere. So we're going to put this single picture down here. And the 2 up here. These are my grandsons helping me clean puppy pens after a litter of puppies, or one of the pens. This was the one that was under the patio, and they're helping me clean. So I'm going to call this Love the Cleanup Crew. And I kind of wanted them a little bit to one side, but they can't be all the way because part of my title's going there. And I'm using 3 things actually that I got from Swaps. But one of them I'm just calling my stamp. And I don't know who did a couple of them. It would have been hard to put a name on one, but I don't know who did the little dog. It was just a stamped image, and then I colored it. Okay, so this is where my pictures are going. And then my first little cluster is going to be down here. And isn't this precious? And Lori Hunter made this. And this is just a little fence, I think, that I cut and had in my binder because it was extra from something. So I want this little puppy dog there. Probably going to do some hand journaling right over here also. And then I've got a couple of these little Brads that are little puppy dogs that I thought I would put like they're looking through the fence. So we're going to do that. So let's get our fence down and our puppy dog down. And then I'm also going to put kind of a subtitle down here. Let's get this glue. And I'm going to just kind of glue this at the bottom for right now because I'm going to stick that subtitle in under the top of these pickets. While I'm gluing this one down, let me go ahead and do the twist. The twist tonight, and I may have done this one before, but you know, I figure we need them over and over anyway. I may at some point just start over on the twists because I forget I've done them. And it's not like we learn everything the first time we hear it anyway, is it? But this one tonight is a question that was asked Billy Graham, and he answered it. And I just thought, this just kind of says it all. And the question that was asked him one time was, if Christianity is valid, why is there so much evil in the world? And his response was pretty amazing. His response reminded me of what Jesus would respond, because Jesus taught with questions a lot. And his response was, I need to move that over a little. His response was, with so much soap, why are there so many dirty people in the world? And I thought, oh my goodness, how amazing to even think of that response. And I thought that just kind of says it all. You know, and then he went on, let me finish reading it. With so much soap, why are there so many dirty people in the world? Christianity, like soap, must be personally applied if it is to make a difference in our lives. And like I said, that just pretty much says it all. Because if people don't see a difference in us, in Christians, then it makes no sense to them. If we're not different, then it doesn't make any sense. And they don't see that difference, I think, a lot of times. We have to live it. Having soap in our house doesn't make us clean. Having a Bible in our home doesn't make us godly. And so we have to live it. We've got to use the soap before it makes us clean. And we've got to use God's word and his instructions and be faithful to that in order to be godly and for people to see God in us. And so that to me was just one of those things that kind of struck me as kind of an awe thing for him to think of that in response to that question. All right, here go the little puppy dogs, the little Brads. And I actually have another Brad that I'm going to use also. Get those down and push them down really good. I usually put washi tape over the backs of them just to pad them a little bit, so if they get smashed in those binders, in those albums, that they don't dig into the picture on another page or something on the page that's behind them. All right, now I'm going to, I have another part of this title. I probably should get my title in place. And I'm going to do love because this was a thing I got in a swap. And it is from, oh, it does have a name on it. From Lori B. And I'm going to use that. And then look what I found in my brads. Is that not cute? And it's almost the same size as that. So I'm going to glue this down, and then I'm going to put that brad right in the middle of that. And it's the last one. I had several of these, and it's the last one I have. So I'm using it up. I have a few more of these little puppy dogs. That was not the glue I wanted. I want the skinny one. Get this glued down, and then I'm going to work on the rest of that title. And then I'm going to work on my embellishment, this embellishment up here. Love the cleanup crew. So this is 3 of my grandsons that were helping me clean up after we had a litter of puppies, and so they're shoveling all of these wood shavings. I may need to, let me punch a hole to put that through so I don't just bend my prongs and there we go. But I thought that was just too cute and too near the same size as that. And then I would have all of those used up. Get that spread out and really push it down good. Turn it a little bit, but I like that. I think that's cute. Okay. Then, get these out of the way. And here I am with my glue that, well, I shouldn't even put that on there because I'm going to start gluing down this title. And it's the, and I'm going to have to make sure I get this spaced on here. It's a pretty long title. I had the word squad that was when I was doing a birthday embellishment swap. I cut this out in black, and then I ended up not using it in the black. And so I just stuck it in my binder. And when I saw it, I thought, oh, it's my cleanup squad. So I just built the title kind of around that. The clean. I'll set it on one of those lines. See if I can spell clean properly. A-N. Started to say, I lose letters in my titles when I'm doing this all the time. Okay, the clean up, and I hyphenated it. Up. Squad. So that's about what it's going to look like. I think I can move that "the" over just a little. But I like that title. So let's go ahead and get that down. And I should have, this will take a minute, sorry. I'll talk about what I was starting to talk about a little bit a while ago. I didn't do a video where I really talked about goals for this year. And I usually try to set some goals, like a certain number of swaps, a certain number of layouts that I want to do that year. And I never really set those goals this year. But one of my goals is to use old paper. That's not to say I'm not going to use some of my newer stuff, but some of my newer stuff is getting old. And so I thought, if you've got to stop this cycle. I don't buy paper throughout the year. occasionally a little here and there, but I really don't buy paper. If I need solid cardstock or if I need something specific, I do buy it. Or if I see, you know, if Hobby Lobby has their little kits or their pads on sale and it's something I really want, I will buy it. But I don't buy much paper during the year. I wait and I buy things at Scrapbook Convention, and I buy big at Scrapbook Convention. I just really have a blast, and I do that. So I need to just use that old paper, and I have a whole tub that's my old pattern paper, and I use out of it all the time, but I just need to keep, and I cleansed, I purged and got rid of quite a bit of it, but I still have a full tub. It's not like a huge tub, but it's one of those bins that you buy at Walmart that you can hang the hanging folders from, and that's what I keep it in. And I have it divided by color and, you know, stuff like that. But it's pattern paper, and I really, really, really need to use it. So that's kind of been my goal. Like those two little fishing layouts. Well, you haven't seen one of them because it's in this 30 Days of Sketches, and I think it's day 12 or something, so it'll be coming up real soon. That's some of it. And some of it's very thin. Like this is very thin, but it's still usable. I mean, it's not like you can't use it. I thought it was great when I first bought it, you know, 25 years ago. But I just need to use it. And I've mixed some of the newer stuff in with it, and I haven't really decided just how I want to keep my papers. We're doing these organization videos, and I keep thinking, I want to reorganize my paper, but I don't know how I want to reorganize it. And so until I come up with what I think about different things, and then I think, nah, that isn't how I want it. But that is one of my goals, is to use up that old pattern paper, or a lot of it. I won't get it all used, of course, but use a lot of that older pattern paper. It's still good. I liked it when I bought it. It's not like it isn't good, and I just need to use it. And then I need to use my scraps. And I do use my scraps a lot, but it seems like I end up adding more to them than I use. I make embellishments for the swaps. I try to use scraps, and I used a bunch of scraps when we did the base pages. That was one of my goals with the base pages, was to use a lot of scraps, and I did, because I made base pages, some of them similar to this. And so that is another one of my goals, to use those scraps, use that old pattern paper. If it was good enough for me to get, it's good enough for me to use. So every time I do a layout, it's like, I've had this forever, and I really have. And a lot of times I buy, like when I buy Echo Park, some of them are the older collections that are on sale. You know, that kind of got carried away here with how far over I put that S. Goodness gracious. What was I thinking when I used that much room? But it's not too much further off than that. All right, I just overlapped that a little. I needed to have moved that S over. Oh, we got to get our little dash. Okay, so there is my title. Now, and I've got this embellishment, I've got that little cluster done. I may add a little bit to it. But the other cluster, I want to show you this. This was, I got this in a swap, and it was just stamped. It wasn't colored. You know, they let me do the coloring. And so I thought, well, that's perfect. I want this little dog over here. And so I got to color him. Now, my dogs are not this color, but he needed to show up. And then I thought, you know, they're putting this in the trash, but we could have been putting it in a basket. And I thought, I'm going to put that puppy in this. I have this, it's a basket die cut. I need to take it apart because this would be a solid to set it on. But anyway, I cut the basket. I got this at Scrapbook Convention, I think at Tall Mouse at their booth, and they have a bunch of like $5 dies. So I'm going to put him, you know, the old saying, you know, don't throw the baby out with the water or the wash water or whatever. I should have scooted those over a little more too. Don't throw the baby out with the water. Well, this is kind of like, I thought this is kind of like throwing the puppy dog out, you know, with the things that we were cleaning out of the pins. So anyway, that was my thinking, and I'm sticking to it. So we are just going to put this puppy dog in the basket. Now I can't glue it down all the way yet because I'm going to put some stuff coming out of this basket. Wish I had scooted those over just a little more. That'll be fine. Okay, there's the basket. There's the puppy. And then I've got all of these things that I can use that, look at these. Linda Phelps. No, not Linda Phelps. No. Yes, Linda Phelps. Look at this. When she's your captain, I think it's when she's like my captain or whatever, every once in a while she sends this little envelope and it just has all these neat little cutout things in it. Like this time it was just all these little sprigs of leaves and different colors and everything. And so I'm going to use some of them and some of these little things that I had in my little sprig drawer that I just toss, when I punch a bunch, I just toss them in there. And I've got, these were little tree trunks, but that were extras. So I'm just going to start sticking some of these in behind my puppy dog. And filling, not I'm going to fill the basket, but kind of putting things in behind him in that basket. And then this is a punch I have that's one of the oldest punches I have, and it's like my favorite, one of my very favorite punches. And so I'm going to put a little embellishment cluster there. So we've got the title. We're going to have this embellishment cluster, this one, and this one. So we got our 3 clusters. And let's see. I've got another one of these. I think my little tree stump things that I think I'll put over here with that. Maybe just in, does it need to go in front or behind? I'm thinking maybe behind. Something kind of like that. And then I may put in something else, we'll see. But that for sure, may just leave that little cluster there. But I have a drawer that I stick greenery and branches and things like this in, that because I use stuff like this all the time as clusters and fillers. And you probably get tired of seeing me use some of my same punches over and over and over, but they're just my favorite ones and I love them. Okay. And if we decide, we may add something else to that. But let's work on this one. So let's get our little sticks in there. And then I'll add that little twig and then some of those little twigs that Linda sent. And I love to use her little envelopes. I've used her little envelopes on layouts. And then I've got this little one. There's some more down here. I don't want too much more, but I was thinking maybe let's use one of hers. Right in there. And then I want to put a couple of things down here. I'm probably going to wish I hadn't glued that basket down quite so well and left more tucking space, but I'm just going to cut these down. But I do want a few of these little things at the bottom. Another one of hers. And let's see. There's another one of hers. I like that one. It's a little bit different color. So let's use it. And I know I left that undone for a reason there. Maybe stick. I'm thinking I might want to stick this right down in there and then do one of those little ones over on that other side. Yeah, that's coming like it's coming out of the basket with him. And then I've got this one that I can trim and do one or two over there. Maybe this little, let's see if this is too big the way it is. If it is, I'll trim it down. But I kind of want him just like in the middle of it all, where you like, oh my goodness, the puppy's about to be thrown away. Okay. I thought about putting some of these down here, but I think I like that just the way it is. And I'm going to do my journaling, I think right there. I may put one of hers right there. On top of those. Get under there. Thank you. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it like that. I've got to learn to just let them be, you know. I'm thinking, oh, I could put some splatters here and I could do this, and I could do that. But, you know, we just have to learn to kind of let them be. So I think I'm going to leave it like this. Here again is our sketch by Shayla Kolchitsky. And like I said, I moved my two pictures to the top, the one picture on the bottom. I kept the title across. I kept the big cluster by the single picture. And then I did add another cluster since I didn't have a horizontal photo, but I really like her sketch, and I really like the 2-page. So this one, I'm sure I will revisit again. And I did accomplish the grab 5. I've got 3 clusters. I have image stamping, cut and colored. I have 3 different pattern papers. This is a pattern. It may look solid in the video, but this is pattern, this is pattern, and this is pattern. Or you could go with the animal print, either one. I have brads. I've got these 2 and this one. I have a ginger corner swap here, a ginger corner swap here, and then I use this one as my stamping. And I have, I have a handmade title, and then I'm going to have a handwritten journaling. So this one was Lori B, and this one was Lori Hunter, and I didn't know who that one was. And these little things were from Linda Phillips. So thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a blessed day and be a blessing to somebody else.